Good afternoon. Welcome to another edition of Thursday Thoughts. And today we have someone that you may or may not know already. She's relatively new to our church. Today we want to get to know Annie Zhang. Say hi, Annie. How are you?
Hi, I'm well.
Annie, I have a feeling that, especially with the services, the in-person services having been shut down almost 6 months ago, if not more than 6 months ago, which is crazy thought. Help us out here. I know we've had a little bit of interaction, but tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do and just how you found our church. Go ahead and take it from there.
Yeah, sure. Well, like Eddie just introduced, my name is Annie, and I've been at CCGC for I think 1 year now. I settled at CCGC after coming back from undergrad at UCLA. So after I graduated, I moved back to become a teacher. And since the home church that I grew up in, Pleasanton, didn't have any young adults, I decided to kind of look around the Bay Area. Had some college friends who grew up here and ended up here. That's pretty much how I found the place. And it's been a nice year, even though a lot of it has been online.
What did you study at UCLA?
I studied cognitive science, so kind of like psychology with less essays and more interdisciplinary work.
Okay. Now, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you say is your UCLA fandom? Are you everything is blue and gold, or you don't care? Where are you on that spectrum?
I don't watch sports that much in general, so I feel like that kind of affects the answer, but I like UCLA a lot. For my middle school, all of our students have cohorts, so mine is UCLA, so I make everything blue and gold for that, if that counts.
Now, do you wear red to school?
No, I don't wear red to school.
There you go. So already your fandom is very high, which it should be, which what makes college fun.
Mm-hmm.
And how long have you been a Christian?
I think I've been a Christian since my first year in college, so maybe 4 or 5 years now, whatever that ends up being. I grew up in a church-going family, but I think I didn't really understand the gospel as much for myself until I went to school. In particular, the idea that Jesus is not only our Savior, which is, I think, the happy and the nice part that I learned a lot about, but also our Lord. And so that requires obedience and also confession of sin and sanctification in that too.
And how did you, did someone bring you along? How is it that in college you went from, having been churched, but maybe not having given your life over to Jesus at that time, to making that commitment? Was there someone involved? Were there people involved that you'd like to give a shout out to? How'd that process go?
Yeah, I think that when I went to college, I was really excited about joining a college fellowship since my youth group just had a couple other people in my year. So the idea of that was very fun. But then also when I got there, my college discipler was this girl named Emily, who is still my friend now, and she is very blunt and very straightforward. So when I first arrived, I think I met her the day before school started, and I was telling her how I was nervous for college, like most college freshmen are. And then I think she asked me if I believed that God was like good and sovereign or something like that, and kind of just hit that. I felt like the way that she was speaking was not the way that I've ever really thought about Christianity impacting our lives before. And then I also got to hear the gospel time and time again at Asian American Christian Fellowship, which is the fellowship I settled on, and then also the church that I was at in LA too. So I think all of that just took a little bit of time to sink in, and that ultimately helped me to understand what Christianity was and to believe.
So Emily had this impact on you. She probably wasn't even thinking this is going to change your life, but it sounds like she at least began the process for you to think through these things in a different way. Where is she now? Does she know that she had this influence on you?
I think she knows. I tell her, and also she is very happy to be part of the process. She's actually still at UCLA. She's getting a PhD in molecular biology, I think, or something along those lines.
Okay, we're gonna give Emily a shout out and make sure that she sees this video, that the Lord used her in a real way, in a significant way in your life. And we, CCGC, we're the beneficiaries of that influence, because now at CCGC, you've only been here a year, but you're already involved in various ways. Tell us what you're already doing. Well, how are you spending your time in your service and your gifts to bless the local church body that is CCGC?
I've been part of the youth ministry Oasis since I came, and then checked it out for a couple of months. So I think it has been very exciting to work with middle schoolers, not only at school, but then also at church too. Remembering how shy I was in middle school, and how growing up I always wanted youth counselors, but we just never really had that many. So the privilege to be able to do this at this church is really cool. Also, the girls are fun, and the other ones are fun too, but in particular my girls are fun.
Yeah, I don't think, and I'm going to say this a little bit, and not to criticize at all, but I don't know if our youth realize how good they have it in terms of having a youth pastor who loves them, and a youth counselor staff of really awesome people who love the Lord, who are fun, who want to get to know the kids and invest in their lives. And unfortunately, it's one of those things where I think they appreciate it, but maybe sometimes don't know how to say it. I appreciate it, especially looking back. It's looking backwards, right? When you're a little older and you realize the influence that these people had in your life. So I thank you for doing that. It's fantastic that you're already involved, and the junior high girls, that's a good group right there. That's a good group of people. So I'm glad that they have you to help them along and to talk them through different things.
Yeah.
And you said growing up you didn't have that as much?
No, I think because the church I grew up at, the youth group was smaller, and then a lot of the counselors ended up being parents just stepping in to fill the role. So I never really had that many Asian American role models, as opposed to maybe Chinese or Taiwanese immigrant role models, which is good too, but which is different from our culture.
For sure. And I know your home church and those parents that were involved, they know, I think they know that they're filling a void, and a little bit maybe ill-equipped just because it's a different culture, but they do it with a good heart and with the right attitude as well, just to step in. Hey, remind me, where did you go to high school?
I went to Doherty Valley, which is in San Ramon.
You went to Doherty Valley. So this is a local girl. You're from San Ramon.
I am from San Ramon.
All right. Did you go to Gale Ranch too?
I went to Windermere. So the
Windermere.
Well. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And does your family still live in that area?
Now we live in Dublin. So still same general area, but not exactly the house that I went to school in.
I got it. All right. I like to ask this question of a lot of people. Here's the scenario, okay? You have a whole day to yourself with no constraints, and money is not an issue. So don't think about how you're going to spend a certain amount of money or try to save money. Just set that aside for just this hypothetical question. The whole day to yourself, money's not an issue. What are you doing with your time on that day?
Is the pandemic an issue?
No pandemic. No masks. None of that, okay?
That helps a lot.
No pandemic.
I would definitely be outside.
The outside, okay?
Cool. Yeah. I guess going to school in LA, the habit or the culture of brunch is very popular. So I think I'd love to do that with some friends, and then maybe some sort of nature activity in the afternoons, like hiking or picnicking, just being out and seeing a lot of green.
Okay. Are you by the ocean?
Probably more so in the forest or mountains and ocean. And then I like cooking a lot, so I would probably do that and make some fun recipe for dinner with family or friends. So, all in all, just a lot of time outside and with other people that I haven't seen in a long time.
Now I don't want fake Chinese humble. Okay, are you a good cook? Be honest.
I think yes, because I watched a lot of Food Network growing up, and so I can tell flavor pairings or figure out generally how things should be. But then I am not one person who likes to practice a lot, and so I don't have one dish that I've made like 1,000 times that's very good, but the general dish turns out pretty good, I think.
Nice. That's good. Food Network is, learning to me, I love watching that channel. I don't cook, but my knife skills are pretty good, I think. I know how to hold the knife because I watched it so many different times.
Yeah, or like the spice pairings or whatever, those kinds of things.
Yeah. All right. Hey, so just as we wind up here, is there anything else that you'd like the church community to know about you, or do you have any siblings? I don't even ask you that.
Yeah, I have a little brother. His name is Andrew, and he is going to be a junior at Santa Cruz. So
Okay.
not much littler.
Okay. And yeah, is there anything else that you can think of that you'd like to tell our church family?
I guess just all in all that I'm excited for when we can be back in person, and then I
Yeah.
can meet more people in person too.
Yeah, I mean, I know we keep belaboring the point, and it's almost to the point where we keep talking about it ad nauseum. It's like, I even admit it, it's a little bit too much, but
Yeah.
man, I cannot wait to be together again. Yeah, I totally agree with you. Well, Annie, I really appreciate you being a part of our Thursday Thoughts this week, this time. Thanks for joining us, and thanks for coming and being part of our church.
Of course. Thanks so much.
All right, well, that's going to do it for this week's Thursday Thoughts. I hope that you enjoyed getting to know Annie. We look forward to doing another edition in a couple of weeks with somebody new. All right, take care. Bye.